to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love.
Hello there. Welcome to the Flashing Blow podcast. I'm Siobhan, 19. Let's meet the plucky What the? The plucky girl assistants. Okay, there. Just there. It's Dr. Sinister. Hello.
I wasn't really sure what was going on.
You world dominated
Destruction,
Lucky
probably.
Girl.
And beneath him, considerably. Well, let's to be perfectly honest with you, he's illegal in 17 states, and he blinks his eyes sideways.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the condemned area known as Spanky. We have no Brian tonight. The poor love's not very well. So we wish you the best. Get well soon.
Drops.
What's going on outside your window?
It's the queue, Andrew. It's the queue. It's
God.
everywhere. You can't move. The queue is everything. There's going to be some very pissed off people tomorrow when they find out they've queued, and even though they've been told not to, and then they can't get in.
6:30 in the morning, I think they're closing it.
Yeah.
You guys have a queue that formed to watch the queue.
Yes, we do.
I think I posted to somebody, one of you guys on Facebook, that the
And then there's the queue to join the queue.
That is
right.
also a thing.
And
One
then
more
there's
queue,
a queue
yeah.
to join the queue, watching the queue, that's watching the queue to join the queue.
that is the most
And
British
you
thing
just
I've
know
ever
that
seen.
Q is watching and laughing his socks off.
He could resolve it all with a snap of his fingers.
Well, bring her back to life. Do you think that's wise?
Why not?
Ooh. We've just disproved the whole werewolf thing. Zombie Liz.
Don't think your nation could take a second period of mourning like this.
Oh, we'll have one soon
Not
enough.
that soon.
But it won't be as intense. Anyway, yes. So,
That's a Chuck, but when he
Dr.
goes, yeah, it won't
Sinister.
be anything like this.
How's your week been?
It's been a week. Nothing really to report, to be honest with you.
And did you bring enough for the rest of the class, Spanky?
Of beverage, negative. I will, however, hand out cigarettes and these delightful little pretzel nugget things, which are for E.T., not me. And a Mounds if you
And
want.
I'm eating some Lionels.
In case you're wondering what all the crackling is.
There you go.
Lionels? They're not Lionels, they're lions.
Lionels, Lionel Rich teas.
Oh, God.
That was cool.
Oh, that
As
hurts.
bad puns go, that was a punch
That
right
was
in
a
the sternum.
corker. Oh,
Good
God.
job.
I congratulate you, sir. I congratulate you. Spanky, your week, has it been really, really nice?
I installed a computer at my parents' house.
Aye.
If that tells you, that's where my week started and went downhill from there. So
Ah, right. Okay. Oh, and there's Retta in chat. Hello, Retta. Right then.
hi, Rita.
What was my week's been empty, completely empty. We did 2 fan dinosaurs on Friday, which I need to, yes, got to refer to in a moment. Oh no, I've had my eyes tested. I have new glasses, but not these
Yes.
glasses. These are for looking at computer screens. I'm not getting them replaced. Apparently, my eyesight's got better.
Your bifocals. Bifocals.
No, I don't have bifocals. I have separate glasses for separate things. Here's an interesting thought. Today, scrolling through Facebook, I ended up reporting 14 adverts for exactly the same Queen Funko Pop. all from essentially different companies, all selling the same thing with the same message.
And I'm assuming this is not Freddie Mercury type Queen.
No, it isn't. I just found out, look, it's a really distasteful thing to do, and the way you're doing it's horrible as well.
They've made a Funko Pop of the Queen already, number one.
Well, a fake Funko Pop, I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm
sure that the palace hasn't licensed one at this juncture.
Well, quite. But I just thought 14 of the buggers. Yeah, as soon as I blocked one, another one's turned up. It's ah dear. Anyway, in case you're wondering, Queen Elizabeth II is still dead.
There goes the vampire and werewolf theory.
Well, exactly. That's just it.
But she still could
And what
be a
about
great
the whole
old one.
lizard thing? Do you think that's just her human skin form in there?
That's possible. And the demonic chrysalis / unearthly butterfly thing also applies because she could be in chrysalis mode.
One day we're going to have to do a podcast that's just us talking about conspiracy theories.
My money is still on Ancient Old One. She is he who must not be named in her earthly form. That's all.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think we could go down a rabbit hole and just do one show about conspiracy theories just to laugh at them.
Oh yes. Yep, they're right there. See,
Bless, it's Finky Cthulhu.
The good doctor's with me. Cthulhu, right there. Mm-hmm.
There goes my sanity. Right.
I didn't have any,
news.
so I'm in no danger.
I mentioned it just now. Two Fan Dinosaurs. We're currently looking at Series 18. We've just finished The Leisure Hive. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be coming back with Meglos. Yes. However, one of our viewers, very kindly, has donated the Season 18 Blu-ray box set.
Very kind. Yeah.
Very kind indeed. And so we're going to be holding a competition on and off throughout the Series 18 run. I need to get some questions in from certain people. For a start, with luck, Andrew Smith will be joining us when we look at Full Circle. He's the writer, in case you're wondering. And we'll get a question off him. And we'll get a question off the viewer who sent us the thing. Very grateful. And I'm trying to get another couple of guests, but more on that story when I know. I just thought
Props to
season
whoever
18.
this great benefit to humanity is that sent that in. We appreciate you, and your slot, once the world gets taken over, you'll get your spot in the Illuminati.
Your space on the rocket is assured.
Bloody typical. He gets there before me again. Bastard.
It happens.
That's all
Well,
I'm
but
saying.
your spot is guaranteed because you're the one bringing the luggage and the dog. So
I'm sorry.
Auntie toddling up to a spaceship with baggage hanging all off her and leashes around each hand. 4 or 5
So,
months.
yeah, that would sum it up. Yeah.
That image.
Yeah.
I'd pay good money for.
Oh, thanks, Banks.
Yep.
Thank you, Retta. I'm going on Retta's spaceship in space. I am. So there. So, anything really been happening this week?
Good happening.
Anything at all? I mean, Ukraine's doing really well. Well done, Ukraine. Don't know how long you can keep it going for.
Ukraine's going good.
I suggest pause for a second to regroup and wait for some more weapons to come in.
I think they should take some of Russia actually, and then offer to trade that back for what's left of Crimea that they don't have, and that piece on the southern border, and their POWs and stuff that got taken.
I can see Putin basically going "fuck you" and pressing the button on that one. Somehow.
I don't think Putin's that stupid.
No, I can see Putin having to retire very quickly.
How many
I can see
times
him
have I
running
told
for
you
his
not
life here
to
very
speak
soon.
with your mouth open?
With a severe case of lead poisoning.
Yes, exactly.
You might fall out of the window. You never know.
Look, he's got people in the Politburo speaking against him publicly now.
Yeah, it's starting to get.
He is no longer unassailable. He is no longer the Iron Giant. Putin is in trouble. That's the first crack in the facade. And if you can see that on the outside in Russia, that means the base inside is shot. So
Current affairs on the Flashing Blade.
That's correct.
I know. We cover everything.
Dr. Sinish and I both have very good intelligence sources inside the Kremlin, so you know.
I'm glad you didn't say you had very good intelligence. Intelligence sources is something.
Inside the Kremlin, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Look, I've been at the sharp end of a few coups, and I know what they look like.
Oh yes.
There's more
We have
stories to be had here, but I
coming
think
here.
we'd better move on.
I think
I
Russia's
can't
doing
actually,
it.
apart from the whole Queen thing, I can't. And, well, I don't want to talk about Trump. He can start off.
No, God,
and obviously our,
judge.
our politics are muted at the very least. I have to wait until after tomorrow.
I do like that they diverted airline flights and things in order to make it
Oh,
more
yes.
quiet around the Capitol
Yes,
for the funeral. I thought that was a nice touch. I think that's a nice gesture of respect.
Oh, by the way, Spanky, we
Yes.
have your president. We
Oh,
have your president.
Good. You can keep him.
I was going to ask you what you were going to give us for him.
Yours. Nothing. I'll send Kamala Harris over too, and all the Republicans and Trump. Do me a favor, put him in that pit. You know, the one in the back, the deep one with the nasty stuff in the bottom, the slithery, crawly things.
Andrew,
Just put them all in there.
That's your department.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest, you're the one who keeps the creatures in the pits.
I throw Twinkies once in a while because, you know, they seem to like those. But
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. The name of Jodie Whittaker's final story has been released. Everyone heard it so far, or shall I
have
shut
not.
up?
no, say it.
Okay, it's The Power of the Doctor.
The Power of the Doctor. Interesting.
Now, we like a good of the title. However, I've always sort of been against actually having Doctor in the in the actual title.
Yeah, I agree.
It got
And that, yeah.
Moffat completely overused it.
Well, the problem with Modern Who, that it happens quite a lot, is that the Doctor Who is now about the Doctor. It's never Classic Who was never about the Doctor. It was about situations that this bloke would just turn up in.
Yeah.
You can blame the New Adventures for this.
The series
They
focus did
basically
change a little
turned him
bit,
into
right?
a demigod,
Yeah.
and it's just stuck.
I think
Spanky
that's a
the
good
President.
excuse for bringing another character like K9 back or something, or maybe bringing the TARDIS out more as a character because
Oh no,
you
you
need
don't.
something to detract from the Doctor.
No. We do not. We don't fiddle with the ship. All right. The Doctor's wife was a one-off, never
Yeah.
to be repeated.
Never to be repeated. You sure about that?
Yeah, I would hate it if they started becoming a regular thing. I really would
just saying.
detest it. It was perfect as it was. A story that needed telling, it got told, it got rounded off beautifully. End of. K9, I'd love to see K9 come back, but then I
I
love
would
K9.
love that. Yeah.
Or I'd like to see Strax as a companion.
That'd be
That
cool.
would amuse me. But I want to see Strax in everything.
There you go.
I have problems. So tonight, boys and girls, we are looking at the Rebus operation. We are looking at a file thing with there it is. There's the file I needed. We're also we listened to the latest Big Finish. Let's just check with Spanky. Did you get a chance to, love?
Did I get a chance to do what? Say again. I'm sorry. I'm
Just
brain
not
dead.
paying attention. I don't know.
I have
Big Finish. Did you get a chance?
I got to listen to the first part, Splinters.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
Okay. We'll
I thought it was very
get there.
good. We can
We'll
talk
get
about
there.
that.
Obviously, no Brian means no The Magicians. Then
Or Cobra Kai.
or indeed Cobra Kai. That's
Or
it's not
Cobra
going
Kai,
on
right.
this show. Oh yeah, those two will probably talk about Space Above and Beyond. And then we're going to round off with Callan. Spanky,
Yes.
you're a little bit ahead of us on Callan, aren't you?
Yes.
Could you possibly tell me what the next episode is, please?
I think it's Red Knight, White Knight.
No, we've had that one.
We've had that one.
Have we had that one?
Yeah.
Let me look very
We've just
quickly
had the
then.
most promising girl of the year. So
Yeah, I have it bookmarked here somewhere. I will tell you momentarily. Right, Red Knight, White Knight was that. It's the Little Bits and Pieces of Love.
fascinating.
And that will be followed by Let's Kill Everybody, which is a really good episode.
What episode number is this? Season 2?
Okay, that's going to be, we're on season 2, episode 2 is tonight, and season 2, episode 4 will be our next available Callan episode, right?
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
I've been trying to find stuff with people I know, like, back stuff, any scraps, pieces, bits, chunks, anything, and I've had no luck yet. And all the folks I go to stuff for, like, like old, like where I get like old radio serials and stuff like that, like the Green Hornet and stuff, any of those extant that I can find, stuff like that. Like I know
they just accidentally appear on the web, don't they? It's
sometimes,
and then they download. And what are you supposed to do then?
Well,
it's a nightmare, quite frankly.
Most of them are public domain at this point, right? So
well, that's true. I don't think Callan is yet.
I don't think Callan is. And a few of the RKO, the old Republic serials, aren't, only because some of them are DC comic characters, and those copyrights have been kept alive.
Flash Gordon is DC, isn't he?
No, but he has been, I think, appropriated by them through some backdoor channel. But there's Superman, there's Batman, there's Captain Marvel, aka Shazam. To name the big three from back then.
I remember watching the old Republic Flash Gordon serials. They were shown in school holidays. And the one thing that just sticks with me is the music. Because it's this old school music, and it's stuck with me. And I'd love to see some more just to hear that music again.
Adventure music and stuff. Yeah.
I have no life at all. Listen, shall we do what we came here for? All right, then.
Probably not, but
That's
we'll end up doing it anyway.
Against it.
Yeah, I strongly advise
Very
against
wise.
it. I'm with
And
the doctor.
now, from the worlds of BBC Television's Doctor Who, Christ knows. I've said it before, and I will continue saying it. I love that piece of music. Right. A fourth Doctor Who, possibly, if there's an R in the month. We don't know. And the second K9 are going on holiday, which is really good. K9's personality is a lot chirpier than he was in the previous year. Mind you, this is the Mark II K9. Unfortunately, the hand of God reaches out from space and grasps the TARDIS, or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's the Guardian of Light and Time, who has an interesting line of wicker furniture. And he's sending the Doctor off to get the key to time. All 6 parts of it, which are scattered throughout time and space and disguised. Doctor's not too happy about all this, stomps back to the ship, only to find out that Romana Dvoratrelunda is there. The first Romana Dvoratrelunda. And she's made a hole in the Doctor's console. Ouch. It's the Reboss operation. I don't know where to start on this because I love it so much. Tom Baker ups his game because Ian Cuthbertson is playing Garen, and basically Tom's got a theft worth his effort, is probably how he thought it. We've obviously got the new companion, Romana. K9's had a makeover, and they really create the world very well, even though it's studio bound. Good old polystyrene snow. This thing has atmosphere. There's no two ways about it. It also has rubbery-feeted monsters, but it's Robert Holmes for a start, but this sets the season off to a good start. What do you reckon, boys? Who would like to go first? Go on, Sin.
I don't have much memory of this from child. I think I can recall the White Guardian scene, but this one didn't stick in my head. So I've got very strong memories of Androids of Tara, Stones of Blood, Power of Kroll, Armageddon Factor, but this and the Pirate Planet I can't recall from childhood. So as a result, I'd never regarded it as fondly as the other ones from this series.
Okay.
Also, the book put me off a little bit because I didn't like the cover.
Oh,
However, so I've watched this one. You know, obviously every now and then I watch The Key to Time, and this one obviously starts that off.
Yeah.
And I have to say, my appreciation for it has grown over the years. It is quite wonderful, really. So you've got. I absolutely love the Graf Vinder K. He's fucking mental. By the end of it, when Sholak gets killed, his general.
That's it.
Spoilers,
Bye. He's gone.
he is out there. He is like, charge onward, my men, and gets promptly blown
He's a
up.
bit like Exodore from Mork and Mindy, with all
Yeah.
these invisible followers.
Yeah.
I don't know that reference, but anyway, I have to say, anytime he's on the screen, he steals the scene for me. He really does.
Oh, it's pull something on.
It helps that he has a moustache and he is a man after my own heart, obviously. He's very pissed off because his half-brother was put on the throne of his planet while he went off to fight some war. And when he came back...
He was an evil bastard, though. They didn't want him.
And when he came back, his people said, no, you're not coming back.
Yeah, we don't want you.
Fair enough.
And he's basically got his best general and about 4 troopers left.
Right?
And a ship full of swag, it seems. And then you've got Garen and Unstoff, absolutely amazing. I love the scenes when the Doctor's hiding in the room and they're sort of discussing their plan, and the Doctor's got this big beaming smile on his face because he sussed them out straight away.
Yeah.
They're con men. They're basically trying to sell the planet to the Graf Vinder K so that he can use it.
And a map to an old Jethric mine. The Scrinstone, we call it.
Scrinstone, I calls it. Yeah. Yeah. And then we've got
The overeager young partner. Love it.
Romana looks stunning, clearly designed to be somewhat out of her depth as a person to start with. Yeah. Very glamorous, of course. Thinks she's got one up on the Doctor, but of course she's got no common sense. He's got years and years of it.
Rule 1. Ah!
And then I have to say, we've got Prentice Hancock.
That's a point. You've got his autograph of mine.
I have. Now, I have to say, of all of Prentice Hancock's appearances in Doctor Who, I think this one's probably the best.
It's very small.
Well, he does a fairly good job of acting.
Careful. He's playing
now,
a grumpy character. Have you noticed?
Oh yeah, he's constantly scowling. Now, like you say, this is an interesting story because it revolves around the crown jewels of this planet Ribos, which I have to say is a shithole. In the cold, at least.
Right. She did their best.
No. But what I mean is, with about 4 sets, you've got the roof of the Crown Jewels room, you've got the actual Crown Jewels room itself, you've got the Graf Vinder K's apartment, and you've got a little sort of outside courtyard bit, and you've got the catacombs, and they managed to kind of. But it's interesting, right? Because you would normally expect, whoever's wearing that crown to get involved. But no, it's just the guards. And it's just kind of, it's quite small in scope, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only one thing I have with this story is pronunciation. Romana consistently calls it ribos.
Well, she's broken.
In episode 1. The Doctor uses the phrase "sleight of hand" when I thought it was sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Tom thing.
What else? There was another one. People don't seem to have been told how to pronounce things. Also, I got very confused because I can distinctly recall the Grafin K. The K was spelt K-A in the book.
Yes, the name changes from the book to
yeah, and Jethric changes. It's Jethric with a Y in the book. Not that that matters. And when I started seeing the subtitles, Grafin K, and I was like, that's not his name. No, but it is.
Right.
Oh, and of course, finally, and this is completely unnecessary for the story.
Okay.
We've got Finro the Heretic.
I wondered when he was going to come up.
Timothy Bateson. Poor man's Copernicus, yeah.
Yeah, and basically being told that his heresy is fact and it's all true.
It's one of the most beautiful scenes in Doctor Who, full stop.
Yeah.
Up there with Tommy.
And it doesn't even involve a main character.
No. Mm-hmm. It's just a small...
No, he's like an afterthought side character almost.
Absolutely.
So, this story, the first episode had a lot of setting up to do.
Yes.
You've got the Guardian appearing, you've got Romana appearing, you've got the whole thing being set. Then you've got the initial setup with Garen and Unstoff. Is this the first time that we are given a hint that there's a higher power than the Time Lords?
It depends how you class the Celestial Toymaker.
Yeah.
And even then, it was never... Nothing was stated.
I think the Celestial Toymaker is an Eternal.
Yeah, that one... You know we're going to have to explain all that to Spanky, don't you?
Well, I'm done, so if Spanky wants to do talking now, he can.
Okay. Excuse me. So, Colonel Sandler's evil twin summons the Doctor. I like that. I'm surprised he didn't share his mint julep with him, but he did offer. That was cool. Wicker furniture. Anyone sitting on wicker furniture is always evil. You should know this. The Doctor should know this.
This makes an interesting point.
Yeah.
We know how the series ends. Do you think the White Guardian was the Black Guardian all along, sending the Doctor off to collect these things?
He does threaten the Doctor.
One of the best threats ever.
So, what will happen to you, me? Nothing.
Ever. Absolutely nothing ever. And he's like,
yeah, I love that threat.
That's a real threat. Yeah.
It is. Eek. So there's always the chance that's the Black Guardian. It's not... I mean, he could be disassembling, obviously, but he's saying he's the White Guardian, but I'm not sure.
I mean...
And he hasn't got a silly hat on.
Well, he mentions a Black Guardian, but again, black and white are, I guess you could say, opposites, negative perspectives, right? So, to the Black Guardian's perspective, he's always the White Guardian, the other guy's the Black Guardian. To the White Guardian, you get it? He's the White Guardian, the Black Guardian's the Black Guardian, and vice versa.
Andy Lane. You really need to talk to Andy Lane. He's got a fascinating theory.
They would each see each other that they were like the good white whatever color, and the other guy's the black.
One man's good is another man's evil, and vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, the whole Black Guardian versus White Guardian thing really only comes into play, morally speaking, is in how it affects the Doctor for the purpose of the show, right? Like, subjectively, what is that guy to him? How does it end up being to the Doctor or whatever stuff?
You're going to find out.
Not necessarily. Yeah, because I can't remember. I've seen this before, but I can't remember the ending of it. So good for me.
Good, I'm pleased.
Excuse me.
What was I going to say? There's also the Beige Guardian.
Do what?
There's the Beige Guardian as well.
Is there?
Yes. That's from a comic strip. It's essentially Niles Crane. But yeah. Carry on, please.
Romana was great. Was there was a second Romana, right? Or more than one Romana, right?
Yep.
If I remember correctly. Okay. We won't go into that then. Not right now. We'll talk about that later. But Romana, love Romana, and I like how she breaks in. She's, the typical. She's highly educated. She hits the field. She's ready to go running, and she thinks, as most, the people who just got out of training is, that their training is going to slap right into the real world situations, and it does not.
What is more impressive, and people don't talk about this very often, is the fact that Romana is a time lady.
A Time Lord S or something? Time
Lady,
sure.
They tend to be called. I don't know. Gender's fluid. And Time Lords live a cosseted life in the Capitol or at their own houses. So for her to agree, all right, it was apparently the president sending her, to go out into the wilds with a notorious renegade. She studied his file. That takes some balls, quite frankly.
She's not quite Frodo. She's actually more like Samwise, leaving the Shire with crazy Frodo, right?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good way of putting it.
She leaves the Shire. Yeah.
Better looking, though.
Much better looking.
Yes, I think that's a fair comment. Did you enjoy this, Spanky?
Oh, she's way up the list. Okay, for cuteness. Where else was I? Damn. Me. Let me see. I'd done forgotten what the hell I was gonna say. We covered wicker chairs are evil. Funny face painted witches that tell the future.
The Seeker.
Whether fellas in decay believe them or not. Right.
She was bang on though.
Yes,
she was bang on, right? Because I think that's the what do you call it? The kind of a Deus Ex Machina thing, right? In the storyline, because
it's a very rare thing for Doctor Who.
Well, yeah, you've got the one guy saying, "Oh no, this is our science, and these people are stupid barbarians," and then this chick comes in who, screams some stupid shit, lights a fire, and goes, "He's over there," and she's right, and all his technology couldn't do it. So there's more going on in the world than he knows, than science knows, and we've just met a guy who is apparently more powerful than the Doctor. So you're getting a view of it's a smaller kind of peek into a window, but you're getting a view of the larger universe, right? Like in the first one, when the Doctor talks about the very first Doctor talks about this is only like Universe 1 or whatever, and there's all these other alternates. He talks about parallel universes. You get a shove it. There's so much more out there. That's all.
Yes, I was going to reply to what you were saying, but I can't remember the start of it. Oh yes, the Seeker. That's right. One of the very, very rare occasions where something like psychic powers are not explained away scientifically.
Right.
They just are.
Yeah. Could be magic, could be psychic powers, whatever. It could be, Arthur C. Clarke. Any technology sufficiently advanced enough is indistinguishable from magic. So maybe her technology is way beyond anybody else's. Who knows?
Bones.
Doesn't matter, right?
There's a sequel, which we reviewed a few weeks ago on The Flashing Blade. It's all right. It was okay. I'm trying to remember which Doctor it was. I think it might have been Colin. I can't remember.
A sequel to this?
Yeah, to the Rebus Operation. Yeah, Big Finish jobby.
Oh, right.
We looked at it. Damn, you were looking at Big Finish by then.
Yeah. What was that? Now I remember you talking about it. I don't know. Didn't I get that one? What one was that?
You don't always get the time to listen to them, to be fair.
I don't. That's true. I've struggled to keep up with that.
White dress, Brian. This week. White dress. God almighty, the fever's really got to him. And he can't spell Mary Tam either. Right. So, definite thumbs up all round for the Rebus Operation then. Next week, Moons of Madness, Dr. Sinister?
Yeah. Mr. Fibuli!
It's the pirate planet! Sorry. We like Shouty Captain. He's brilliant. Oh, dear. Yes, that's the pirate planet next week. I'll get rid of the grin at some stage. Big Finish. We did listening. Spanky's only managed to listen to one of them, but that's fair enough. It's the new 10th Doctor set where he meets old companions. He meets Leela, he meets Nissa, he meets Ace, and K9. I'm going to get this out of the way straight away. What? Big Finish, enough of Tennant for the moment, okay? Let the others get a bit more of a chance, please. It's been Tennant overload the past couple of years. And yeah, it's nice to have them, but it's a case of, it's another David Tennant audio. Sorry, that's just my thing on it. And it's interesting to see, yes, Dr. Sinister.
If I might play devil's advocate.
Please do.
They've got to earn their money.
Fair enough. But...
And maybe it's a matter of necessity.
Well, possibly during COVID it was.
Plus...
There are other doctors that deserve work.
Plus, he's supposedly coming back. So they could just be cashing in, and I can't blame them.
I don't think so. This would have been done too early for them to really know.
I see this.
No. I get that it was recorded a long time ago, but the fact that they're putting them out at such a pace right now, they could put them out any time, but they're doing it right now. That's obviously a choice.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. That's a good explanation.
David Tennant was like that breath of fresh air that the series needed. They'd been doing so many, geriatric doctors. I
think you're talking about Christopher Eccleston.
Well, Christopher Eccleston too, but David Tennant's pretty young.
That's when the Doctor
Am I
suddenly
thinking of
became
the
a
right
sex
guy?
symbol. Yeah. So anyway, first story: Splinters. The Doctor's
Guy from the Angel movie thingy. Yeah.
The Doctor's tracking down some sort of distress call, and the TARDIS interior suddenly shifts to the secondary control room, and then shifts back again. He manages to locate the pinpoint the source of the distress call, and it's K9 Mark II, Romana's
Mark II,
dog. Right. And she he's tracking down remnants of the Time War for Romana. Romana is long gone, but she left him that job. And so the Doctor decides to help out. And they land in what is ostensibly Cornwall. And they find someone who's ostensibly Leela helping, because this creature from fairy tales is coming along and stealing people's children once they turn 18. And it's a case of, right, this has to be... it's not the meta-crisis, Doctor. So, what do you mean you're not 10? What is he saying? Fool child's got a fever. I don't know. Anyway, Spanky, you got a chance to listen to this. What did you make of it?
How far can I go without?
Yeah, I know it's tricky, isn't it?
Away. All right. Doctor Who, love Doctor Who, and K9 anytime he pops up, awesome with awesome sauce.
Yes.
He's been set to guard, and the Doctor stumbles over him, but that's cool. Then the first monster you hear about, and actually that's like the cutscene right before you hear the Doctor even enter into it, right? It's the Spriggan,
yes,
or whatever, right? That knows no doors and steals children. So immediately you're thinking fairy tales, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're also really they kind of beat you over the head with it just a little bit. Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm. It's a lovely opening, narrated by Louise Jameson.
It is, and it's good because they're good about using it later in the show or whatever to bring you back to the point at the first part where they're cycling back like all fairy tales do, right? They make these little circles, you do your thing, you go out, have your adventure, and then come back and bring justice to the baddies or whatever. And anyhow, what happens is the Doctor, being the Doctor, it's really hard to find a good a good foe for the Doctor to face sometimes. So this time they had him face basically. Can I say that who he's going to face?
No, that's
okay. I'm going to leave that.
All I'm
okay,
going to say is I didn't realize the voice and the acting. I didn't realize.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Until it got made clear.
Gotcha.
Which is a compliment.
All right. Well, yeah. No. Good, because that was done very well. Excellent use of the TARDIS in this. I'm going to say that then. Excellent use of the Doctor. Excellent use of, what do you call it? I guess parallel
universe.
Again, the idea of parallels of a multiverse, right? Again, it's these little shots that even with the Big Finish, when you get a look at, there's more out there than just I mean, hell, the TARDIS has got a universe inside itself, basically, but there's a universe out there, and then what's beyond that, right? The Doctor doesn't always show you, because we get kind of tunnel vision on the Doctor and his adventures, but as a world setting, the world the Doctor moves in is fascinating. Remember, there's the simulation of that world, right? And then the world itself, and I don't know, there's so much going on there. I really want to play with that world setting. As a writer,
there's a theme running through
fascinating
this set of identity.
Mm-hmm.
We'll move on to the next story.
Okay, you do that, because otherwise I'm afraid I might give something away. There was so much stuff I liked, and I don't want to blow that. So yeah, don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Sorry, got a little chestnut here. The Doctor is at a Hollywood movie studio, and a father and daughter are a stunt team, and the daughter is doing some very difficult stunts, and the Doctor comes in and slowly pieces it together, and I don't know how much further I can go with this without blowing the whole thing. Quite frankly, this is a story where the Doctor meets Nyssa. How the hell do I review this like that?
That's the end of it.
That was the end of it.
I enjoyed it. I'm impressed with Sarah Sutton's vocal dynamics.
She's from Basingstoke.
If you say so.
She is.
Okay. Look, it's really enjoyable, and you'll be very surprised by some of the actors. Let's just say somebody does a Eugene Tacitus, all hail the big talking bird, vocally, should I say, and take it from there. There's the clues there. Anyway, I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but I do not want to ruin it for you. And then the last story, Quantum of Axos. I wonder who the bad guys are in this.
Is it the Sontarans?
Oh, bloody hell, you said you hadn't listened to it. Yeah. Dorothy McShane from A Charitable Earth is a little bit interested about a new phone app, which is doing things it shouldn't be able to do. So her and her canine, because she's got a canine, yes.
Are there in-app purchases?
No, I think it's free shit now I think about it. You just had to sign the terms and conditions. Which,
no one reads those.
Yeah, they should do. Not on this one, they should do. And so she's going to investigate the company making this stuff. At the same time, the Doctor and the Mark II canine, who's still with him, they're trying to sort out, like I say, Flotsam and Jetsam from the Time War. Finally find out the cause of what this rift thing is that canine's been circling around in space.
Oh, that's a 3D headset.
Oh, right, okay.
Am I the only one who's happy they brought John? Is his name Lehman? Is that how you say it?
John Leeson.
Leeson. John Leeson back, right?
Oh no, he's done all K9's voices in Big Finish.
Not all of it, because there were 2 other guys who. One guy was uncredited one time, but there was another guy who did like 4 episodes.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. Lesson time. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
David Briley.
David Briley played the voice of K9 for season 17 only. John Leeson was originated it and did another season, and then after that he came back for K9's final season. However, throughout Big Finish, John Leeson has played the dog.
Has he been the only one? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I just meant I was happy to see him doing K9 again. That's all.
Oh no, he's in tons of stuff, especially
I want the original. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or the Big Finish. They get the original
and Fourth Doctor stuff as well.
Didn't you do something like in the Ribos operation that's coming up?
Rebos!
Like monster? Ribos, you got it right. Good job.
Ribos.
Doesn't he like voice the giant monster?
The Fred operation.
That one. Mm-hmm.
Right, so anyway, yes. And it's a case that they work out that it's Axos. And yet again, you have a question of identity. I'm not going to give away what that is, but almost giving it away. Hats off to Sophie Aldred, again, for her differing performances. Especially, I say that thinking also of Sarah Sutton from the previous story. There's also somebody else, but I'm not going to say. And it's very interesting. It's a little bit nostalgic. I just didn't want it to be 10. It's not one of my favourite Doctors. I'm sorry.
Who would you have had then?
Doing that.
You like the 10th Doctor?
If it had to be a new series Doctor, well, I'd prefer Peter Capaldi because it's Peter Capaldi. Failing that, Matt Smith. But, there we go. But yes, New Doctors, Classic Companions. It's really good. I've only just finished listening to it before I came on to do this, and it's very enjoyable. Like I say, I just wish I could say more about it, but it's just going to give the game away. And you don't want the game to be. Are you having a nice little chat to yourself?
No.
He's asking you what's wrong with David Tennant.
Yeah, what's wrong with David Tennant?
I've never liked his Doctor 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I've always felt like this is a man who is acting. Matt Smith was a more natural Doctor. Tennant, it was... No, I've never... I'm sorry.
Eccles only got 1 season. I think they really needed to show some younger actors. That's why when they made a female Doctor, I was very happy to see she wasn't like 75 years old. It was awesome. I was like, yay.
Oh, there have been what if Doctors. It's a game the fans play. Miriam Margolyes would be up there. Francis Delator.
The young gentleman of color that's going to be playing is also quite young, right?
Ncuti Gatwa. Yes.
Yes. I'm just saying he's also quite young, though. That's my point, right?
Yeah, I know.
And it's going to piss off a lot of fans.
But the thing is, everyone's over the moon apart from the racists.
No, not the fans, the fan types.
Matt Smith was very young when he played the Doctor, but he imbued it with such a sense of gravitas and age. It was uncanny.
Yeah.
He did very well. No argument.
No, he's one of my favourite new series Doctors. It's Capaldi, then him.
What's the one everybody hated? The curly-haired guy?
Colin Baker.
There's another one. Can't remember.
Okay, this is going to be good.
Something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to go there, but I'll think up later and I'll scream it out and it'll make no sense.
Trust me. It was Colin Baker.
I'll wait for that.
You're thinking of Colin Baker. Or possibly Peter Capaldi, because some people didn't like him when he started out. Anyway, that's the Doctor Who bit. Next week, no idea what we got for Big Finish. Something or other. Probably. I'm hoping it's the Doctor of War, the second volume of that, the Colin Baker War Doctor. Because that should be interesting.
I didn't really get along with that first box set, to be honest.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. No, not what you just said. It's the very fact your audio and video desynced. You were basically dubbing a Hong Kong karate film from the 70s.
Well, someone's got to do it.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
What was it you were saying? Because it was interesting.
I said I didn't really get along with that first Colin Baker War Doctor box set.
Fair enough. It was a little bit too. We're going to piss around with time. So that's the trouble I found with Big Finish. Occasionally they can try and be a bit too clever for themselves, and that's not necessarily a good way of dragging people in. You can do that every now and again, but don't rely on it. Again, this is all down to my own personal preference. Your mileage may well vary.
Damn. Sorry.
That's all right.
I didn't mean to yell that out, but I told you it would happen and it wouldn't make sense. So now you know.
It was Colin Baker, wasn't it?
It was Paul McGann.
He's incredibly
that
popular.
I was thinking of that wasn't very popular.
No,
that I didn't like anyway.
No. McGann was the shining thing in the TV movie. People adore him.
My condolences.
He's a lovely
I like
man.
David Tennant, damn it.
He's
I'm
very
just
tiny, itty bitty little man.
sorry,
Yes.
Paul McGann. I'm sure you were great. I just no.
You know we have to buy him
I didn't
character
like him
options Paul
much.
McGann figures now, don't you?
I like David Tennant, so you know.
Oh, you're not going to get any of those. No. I mean, they're putting out 3-packs of David Tennant's and Paul McGann's, different costumes.
Yeah, right. That's what they're doing.
And
He's not a bad.
we're not
actor,
going to
let
get you
me
the
say
David
that.
Tennant one. Let's put it that way. Right.
No.
Let's move on, boys. It's down to you. Who's going to take over now? You or Spanky? Sinister.
What are we doing now?
I'll do it.
Okay,
Is it
Space Above
calendar?
and Beyond.
Go for it.
I have not seen it, so I'll shut up.
Right,
Okay.
so we watched the latest episode. I say latest, the next episode of Saab called The Enemy. Warning: there will be spoilers here because I don't really think anybody cares. I really liked this episode. So basically, well, apart from the fact that the 58th, who are highly trained fighter pilot people, are now doing a fucking supply mission, but let's park that for the moment. It's kind of the equivalent of sending Maverick in Top Gun to deliver milk. Anyway, they have to go to this planet called Tartarus. I wonder if there's a black hole. We never know. Anyway, which is basically there's been a pitched battle being fought on this planet between the humans and the Chigs, basically since the start of the war. And it's not a very nice planet, and nobody really wants to go there, but they've got to go and land some supplies on the planet. So they land the supplies. They enter a world of shit where basically the whole planet appears to be some kind of metaphor for Vietnam, I think. Nobody really seems to want to be there. Nobody seems to know who's in charge. There's guys going loopy. There's one guy firing his rifle at everyone else. And anyway, to put it in a nutshell, this is all being told in flashback because essentially they're all being kind of court-martialed back on board the carrier because they're being accused of sort of I can't remember exactly what they were accused of, but it was unbecoming
dereliction of duty, conduct unbecoming, and disobedience of a direct order,
and all in the face of the enemy. And what's happening is there's this thing keeps going off, which is setting off their fear response. So Danfoos is terrified of blood. You've got West, who I know Spanky loves, keeps hearing his girlfriend's voice calling out to him. You've got what's her name? Kristen Cloak. I can't remember the character's name. She's basically terrified of the dark, and basically they're convinced there's a new Chig weapon going off. At the end of it, they kind of get let off because somebody says, "Well, they think there's an experimental weapon going on." But here's the interesting thing. You don't see a single enemy in this episode. You don't hear any enemy gunfire. You don't see any enemy spaceships. And you don't see who they're fighting. And I think we're supposed to believe that that there was some kind of experimental weapon, but it wasn't a Chig weapon.
Not a Chig weapon, right? That's the shades of Vietnam, right? The MK Ultra / well, Buzz, Blue X is what we call ours Buzz. The Russians have Blue X, but hark back to Jacob's Ladder, the movie, if you've seen that, right? We experimented on our own troops with psychedelic.
Yeah. So you have to question yourself: were the Chigs even on the planet?
Hmm.
I think this whole thing was an experiment to see how they would respond, and I really quite liked this one.
Hmm.
It's dark, but I liked it. I'm done.
I'm with you. I liked it. It was dark. It was good. Again, I'm crushingly disappointed West was not murdered by his own people. Danfoos had a really good shot there. And the arrogance of that little prick, he doesn't actually get scared. What he does is have a hero complex, so he wants to go save his little girlfriend. Oh, I'd have shot him for that, but that's just me. Again, I do have just an objection to TV shows where they portray the military, not just Marines, um, and they don't seem to know anything about the military. They've got these guys as officers standing guard, and they're pilots, but they're humping a pack. They're,
Yeah.
doing all kinds of foolishness. There's a, what is this? There's a new TV show about witches, and they're like in boot camp, and like they scream at each other or something in America. I can't remember the name of it, but like they're supposed to be in boot camp, and they just run all over the freaking place any which way they want, anytime they want, and do whatever the hell they want. And I'm like, wait, what? Because that's not even like Air Force boot camp. Okay, come on. That's not, no, that does not happen. It just seems there's a fundamental breakdown in what, I don't know, this gulf that just, it kind of ruins the series for me a little bit because they couldn't just get one guy who was in the military to go, well, you could, straighten this up here just by not being this stupid. But I twigged the same thing as you. I thought, oh, is this kind of like, an MK Ultra sort of situation or something? Is this did they dose their own guys or whatever? But they had a bunch of the Chig sort of landmines. Maybe that was how they were going to clean up the evidence instead of the way we did it, which was having all those guys just kill each other in an Alabama swamp. Either way. So I thought that was pretty cool. And that
You're
was
gonna have to Spanky. I think you're gonna have to elaborate on the Alabama swamp thing because we don't.
sorry. When the chemical was tested, the guys were told they were in Vietnam, but they weren't. They were actually in like a Louisiana bayou or an Alabama swamp out there somewhere.
Is this similar to ending up in Martha's Vineyard when you've been told you're somewhere else?
Yeah, it's sort of like that.
Okay.
It was just they didn't know the chemical weapon was going to be tested on them. They didn't know where they were going. They thought they were going to Vietnam. They were sent there. The weapon was dropped on them, and half of the soldiers like linked hands and started singing the Smurf song, and the other half had a psychotic break that they never recovered from and killed everybody else.
Shit.
And when the chemical weapon wore off, what happened was much like with LSD, people who experience that is you have a flashback later on where it hits you again because the chemical's still in your brain. Every person that was exposed eventually suffered a series of cascading psychotic events that eventually drove them all mad, and they either killed themselves or those around them. So none of them really survived the experiment.
What year was this? 70s?
72, I think. 73.
Jesus H.
Yeah. Well, we also tested nuclear weapons on our own troops. If you remember seeing the film where they're all sitting down through the army guys and
So
then
did we.
I knew about that. I think there were people queuing up to watch it.
I think the British did
That's
something
where the queue
similar.
started, if I'm honest with you.
The French did it too. So yeah, like nobody had any clue about radiation or anything like that.
I've seen a photo of some I think they're American top brass stood at the site of the tower where there was a bomb detonated, and like the tower's obviously gone, and they just stood there the day after going, "Ooh, that's interesting."
Look at all this.
We're back
it's
to
like
Russian
amazing
troops
that
in
their
Chernobyl,
skin
aren't
isn't
we?
falling off right there, right?
Anyway, can I
Yeah,
just say
so-
well done? That was nicely reviewed. Thank you. That was very nicely done.
Yeah, that's the part I twigged to the most. That and West should have died yet again, but didn't. Damn it! But there you go.
It's an ongoing thing, isn't it?
Yes, I hate that bastard.
And,
But
and
again,
also,
props to the actor for making a character you could actually dislike. He must be a great actor. Yeah.
I want to echo something that Brian said last week.
Oh, must you?
The more I rewatch this, it's quite very grim. It's very dark,
Mm-hmm.
and I can kind of understand now why it wasn't renewed. And
Yeah,
it pains
I
me.
get
It
why.
pains me to say that because I still hurt that this wasn't renewed.
Yeah, you and me both. I like it. I can see where they made a lot of errors that when it came out, I wasn't able to recognize. Not
Yeah.
just the faults with the military stuff, but that error in the writing also made the characters and the storyline weak, and that ultimately led to the downfall of the series. Because if they'd have been stronger on the writing and the director would have been more dedicated to producing, a really high quality story, I think they could have done really well with just like add one or two advisors for military stuff.
Yeah.
Bad special effects aside, who cares?
But
They do a lot with
the
these limited.
the
Go ahead.
idea of an ongoing sci-fi story which features a war is really appealing to me.
Mm-hmm. Where they do hard science,
5.
yes.
Deep
I
Space
get-
Nine.
When I
Babylon
say
5,
a
yeah,
war,
I mean-
I'm not. So Babylon 5 is from the perspective of those running the war. I'm
Mhm.
talking about from the perspective of those who are having to fight it.
The Grunt, right?
Yeah,
I'm all about it. Yep.
yeah.
Motherland, that's the name of that TV show. If you get a chance, watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Witches running around in boot camp and they're like screaming at each other. And I don't have a problem with that being the witches' power for blowing things up. They scream at it really hard and it goes kaboom. But like, just oh my god,
I think
they're in boot camp.
this is why I liked Rogue One so much as a Star Wars film because, okay, we did get to meet Mon Mothma and the leaders of the rebellion, but it was from the perspective of the people having to do this shit.
Right.
Rather than
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, who's basically a god, and
Yeah, you don't
Whiny
get your
boy
full back
Skywalker.
view and oh look, there's a Death Star and stuff. It's they're down there getting tortured and murdered and horrible shit's happening left and fucking right. This is
Yeah.
like the Vichy or something. They're in the Resistance and it's like, bloody murders, in alleyways and shit. Yeah, I'm down. That was totally on time.
yeah.
Right then, moving on. This very talented young chemist wishes to leave her job. Unfortunately, British security are a little bit worried.
Twitchy.
Because she's practically got a photographic memory. And the secrets she's got stored in her head. So the question is, what's going to happen to her? So the second hunter, as far as we know, puts Callan onto her because he's got away with the women. And
He's a lady.
Toby Mears, on the other hand, has got together with her flatmate.
Toby's a dick.
Oh yeah, Toby's a huge dick.
Yeah, Toby's a dick. Ain't Toby.
Anyway, Callan's job is to clear her of all suspicion. That's a bit odd. Let's face facts here. It's normally something else is going on, and you're slowly seeing it pieced together in Callan's head. Again, I don't want to give too much away because you can still go out and see this.
On YouTube. Go check it out.
Yeah, YouTube. There's a great shot.
Can I put a link to it in the thing? Is that okay?
Yeah, feel free. There's a great shot of Lonely up against a wall, and the camera is in the car, and it just drives up right close to him, and you can see he's terrified. That's a brilliant shot.
It's sped up though, isn't it?
I would have thought so, but it's still bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
Callan being his usual nice self.
But Callan does say later on to him, he says, "Yeah, go and do this thing," and he does it in his normal blunt way, and then he does say to him, "Take care of yourself."
Yeah. Oh yeah. There is more to Callan and Lonely than you really know.
But the point is that Lonely is put upon by Callan, but they both understand the positions that they're in.
Yes. I think Callan resents it slightly, the fact that Lonely is his only friend. But again, we will get answers later. No, not all the episodes of Callan. Oh, that survived. Sorry, I'll shut up. And you weren't able to actually put that link, were you?
I put it in there, yeah.
Yeah, no, because you haven't got permission to share links.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Did it not go? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it in general and you can put it in there. How about that?
I shall try. This is again, it's Callan. It goes in what you initially think is the Iwa. There we go. That's the one. Sorry, I'm just copying.
It showed it to me as though I put it in, but I don't know if anyone else can see it. So yeah.
Bear with me. I'm having to do lots of things with screens and things. That's Control V then. Thank you very much. Hopefully, boys and girls, that's the playlist for Callan on YouTube. However, you can also buy the DVDs on Netflix, the black and white years, the colour years. Oh God, and the Wet Job.
Yeah, I think one of the movies in there, plus an interview with Iwa Uwa and something else.
I don't know.
Skit from his show.
Oh yeah, no, that's something else entirely. Yeah. Hang on, you're throwing me a little bit.
Sorry.
Yeah, all right. Which one of you wants to go first on Callan? Spanky, apparently.
I went first last time.
Okay.
I'm being nice. I'm offering.
I like this because I really like Callan. Number one, the idea of the chaotic good assassin. Callan is a mortally conflicted man. He is the perfect anti-hero because while doing bad deeds, he's doing what he thinks is right, which is, again, my whole argument for chaotic good as an assassin. But he isn't evil, even though he's doing bad things, but he is not a hero. But he's doing things that need to be done. Unfortunately, because
it's not easy being a cop.
It's not easy being a spy, that's for sure, apparently, right?
Sure.
So this innocent young woman gets caught in a really bad place because she inadvertently just accidentally happens to memorize all of the UK's chemical weapon formulas. Whoopsie. Most notably, their newest, bestest one. So when she decides she wants to quit.
It's the newest, bestest one is the one that makes you queue.
Yep. The one that makes you queue. Right. So, that puts her in a funny position in the eyes of the intelligence services, and this is funny, it's how innocent she is, right? She doesn't think anything of it, doesn't realize anything about her work, the nature of it, her desire to quit, what it may look like to her employers or the higher up or anything. She's totally, completely naive, right?
Yeah.
She is complete innocent in this regard. Not to life totally, but, in this regard, she just is completely clueless. So it ultimately leads to her death, unfortunately, and Callan does his level best, again, to save the girl and, do everything he can, but between Toby and, of course, the Russians who want to snack her up and her being gulled by an agent, it's just...
There was me not mentioning the whole Russian angle.
Yeah, I said, screw that. We're going to throw it out there anyway. If you haven't seen it, it's been out there for 50 years.
We'll sort it out in the edit.
Get in there and watch it. Yeah. We'll edit that out with the future historians, please. Snip, and we're good. Okay, but anyway, it shows how Callan does a really dirty job despite it being really dirty and really shitty, and he struggles with the morality of it.
And writes poetry, but it's not very good.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, is at one point he says to Hunter, I don't want this one. And Hunter says, would you rather I gave it to Mears?
Yeah.
And Callan's like, oh, fucking hell.
Fucking, yeah, right? See, that's where he's caught.
Yeah.
Because his morals, he knows, man, you give it to Mears and it's going to be so much worse.
Yeah.
And it ends up being so much worse anyway. Think of how much worse could it have been if he'd have just said, fuck it, and let Mears have it. Like, would they have just taken her in and tortured her?
Oh, she would have disappeared.
He would have totally disappeared. Like the first agent, the German guy that they got in there, and they've got him doped to his gills. This is something they don't tell you about sodium pentothal. If you use it as a quote unquote true drug, what you have to do is essentially administer a lethal dose. So the individual in question, this young German fella trained by the Russians, is a dead man anyway.
Wow.
He's going to die anyway. Yeah.
More chemical news on the Flashing Blade.
Can I
Things
say,
you don't
Frankie,
learn until you work for an interrogator. Yeah.
Frankie, it's slightly terrifying that you know these things.
I don't want to say it. I did work a little bit with ITU when I was in the Marines, Interrogator Translator
Oh,
Unit.
dear.
That's all we'll talk about that.
Yes, please. I don't think I want to hear about it.
No, that's it.
Big cheer. First appearance we've got of Kessler. Or General Rorvik. Not General Rorvik, I do apologise. Rorvik on the privateer from Warriors Gate. It's it's the actor whose name escapes me. Bollocks. He played Kessler in Secret Army, but he plays the Doctor in this. And as creepy doctors go, he does seem to enjoy his work.
He loves his work, doesn't he?
This is not going to be his only appearance.
I think that whole department is just full of fuck ups that they've
It's
just
fucking
picked up.
whack, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like, that's the guys, they were like, we have these shitty jobs. Let's not look too close at them, and we'll just put all these whack jobs in here and hope for the best. And that's
Yep.
what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. They're all failures in some regard.
When Callan is the most, honestly, out of all of them, the most level-headed, morally correct one, or I guess, the most morally sound individual there in the department, that's when you know you're screwed.
Did we enjoy it?
I loved it.
Good.
I really like this
Don't worry,
series.
Sin, I'm coming to you.
Really well written.
Sin,
Hello.
would you like to do talking about Callan?
Please.
I
talk.
really got into this episode.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that it didn't open with Callan in the office being briefed by Hunter, the fact that you actually saw what was going on,
Oh, yeah.
and it had Elizabeth Bell. Elizabeth Bell was in the final episode that we watched of The Outer Limits.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked her up.
Can't
Unfortunately, she
remember.
died in 2012, but there you go. Never mind.
Comes to her all.
Yeah.
That's all.
I got to say though, if you're an actress and there's a scene where two characters are talking about your character and one of them says to the other, "She's not that attractive,"
Yeah, it is slightly problematic with.
it's like when
antique
it's like
views.
when clinically obese people get cast in a role because they're clinically obese. You've got to think
Because
to
they're
yourself,
obese, right?
you got to think to yourself, how does that go down in your head? You're being cast because of your appearance. It's by the by. But yeah, the interesting thing here is so Callan starts by accidentally meeting this lady and at an opera, I think, isn't it? Yeah, and he's playing this sort of slightly bumbling, slightly shy kind of. Oh, I'd really like to meet you again. Before he reveals himself for why he's really there.
Right.
But later on, there's a scene where they're talking, and he says something like, "Oh, I don't like killing," or something, and she says, "No, I think you enjoy it," and he fucking flips.
Oh yes.
He goes,
does.
"I don't have to justify myself to you," and I think the truth hurts there. I think no matter what he tells himself, he gets a kick out of it.
Some level.
Yep.
At some level.
Yeah.
Not completely, and I'm not. He's got some kind of conscience, but there's at least a small part of him, maybe even a large part of him, that actually digs the killing.
Some part of him needs it, and he is just smart enough of a man to funnel it the way he does.
Yeah,
that's his in that respect. That's the only redeeming quality he has as a man.
I think, it's like it's a primal thing in him. Mm-hmm. He is such a he's such a complicated character. It's really hard to pin down, But yeah, anyway, of course, at the end, something very tragic happens.
Big surprise there, then.
Yup.
And I think, don't they say something like that they've got this? So Spanky's already said it, it's the Russians. I'm not going to reveal what the tragic thing is, but fuck me.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they've got this guy prisoner, and you can almost he's kind of half relieved, but half kind of disappointed when he says he's not my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. He's
I
not
think
my
he
problem,
would have very
right?
much liked to have been his problem.
Oh yes.
But at the same time, he's almost glad that he can step away from this now. It's weird. I can't really explain it.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
don't have to.
he realized after the tragedy happens, he needs to take a step back.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about Callan is he realizes when he starts crossing the line,
Yeah.
he crosses the line, but you see him make a real effort to pull himself back. That's another part of the writing that I really, really like as a character. He is, morally conflicted and stuff in this, dark job, dark world. He's got some issues of his own that he's got to work out one way or another. But he keeps, really working hard to pull himself back from becoming, Mears, for example, or worse.
He's trying to be the better man. And I think some other people in his position might not even know there is a line.
Right? Mears doesn't.
Exactly. I was going to say
Hunter does.
I don't think Mears knows that there's a line and is not afraid to cross it because he doesn't even know it's there.
Yep. No clue. Right.
I don't know. I think he does. I just think he gleefully crosses it.
I love the scene where Mears turns up as the flatmate's boyfriend and Callan accidentally spills coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was I really liked this one a lot because like you say that the chemist lady she just thought she just thought it was a job. She just thought she could just leave the job, no problems. Absolutely completely clueless about actually no, you can't just leave this job. You are a highly sought after commodity and someone's going to come for you. So someone's coming for you whether you like it or not.
Spanky. Can you remind me again which episode we're watching next? It's series 2, did you say episode 4?
Oh, for Callan?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It was episode 4. Can't remember the name.
I believe it is episode 4. The name of it is, I think, it's not Let's Kill Everybody. It's the one before that.
So can I be perfectly blunt? When you first suggested,
if I could be Philby.
When you first suggested that we were going to be doing Callan, I was like, that's not sci-fi. This is going to be really boring.
It's an archive TV show, not necessarily sci-fi.
Mostly sci-fi, though. Let's face it.
Frankly,
but I think it had, for me, it had a bit of a rocky start, mainly because of the repetition of the pilot and then the first episode. But I do think the fact that they get more out on location now improves the situation, and the more I get to know the character, and the more you can kind of see under the hood, so to speak, of how he works. Yeah,
I gotta like that, right? It is just for the time, it was so well written. I'm surprised that they allowed that kind of dark character really on TV and to be shown. And I mean, that was really mature for the time when they really spent a lot of time shining deterred. I mean,
given that you add things like the Saint or the Persuaders or people who are generally black or white, this is really mostly grey, and it's
so dark grey, right?
I'm terribly sorry. I'm sitting here feeling rather chuffed with myself. I've managed to find, something I adore, and you two adore it as well. Maybe not adore, but
I used to watch this as a little kid with my mom.
Oh, bless.
Big fan on that. Oh, that and like every Agatha Christie and everything British. She was a huge Britophile, I guess. Maybe you'd call it whatever.
Anglophile.
That's
Anglophile,
English, though,
sure.
isn't it?
Some kind of file. It was pointy. It scraped things.
Oh, well, there we go. So, yes, next week, The Pirate Planet. Yes. A big finish of some kind. What else now? Another episode of Space Above and Beyond.
Oh, the next one is called Hostile Visit.
Hostile Visit.
In which there's a visit that might not go too well. And
and it's apparently, I don't remember this, it's part 1 of 2.
Yeah.
and an episode of Callan, the title of which I've already forgotten. So, yeah.
Little bits and pieces of love.
Little bits and pieces of my brain. Yes, next Friday. Nothing's happening. I got you worried for a second, didn't it? Next Saturday on Thaco Gaming, the Twitch channel Thaco Gaming, you'll see us conducting another tour of a haunted house.
Well, they'll see for the first time, since the first time we recorded it didn't get
they
recorded or
last
something.
time,
So
didn't
yeah.
they?
Are you going to be doing the stone tape?
I don't know what Jess has got planned. I've no idea.
It could be something like that, as a matter of fact. We do not know.
All I know is I seem to be playing Philomena Cunt.
Yes, you are playing Philomena Cunt. I do like your Batmobile.
He's tiny, isn't it? He's cute.
Itty bitty
Batmobile, almost a rail, yeah.
Best Batmobile ever.
That's a micro machine, isn't it?
No, it's a little it's a Hot Wheels one.
Really? That's
And
Hot Wheels?
I saw it in a shop just randomly,
Man,
and I just liked it because he was cute, like a little chibi one.
Yeah,
That is
that's cool.
awesome.
I like that.
I haven't seen this because I don't see Hot Wheels over here that small. Oh, remind me to ask you about Legos after this.
Thaco Gaming, like I say, next
Right.
Saturday
Well,
night
to
on
start
Twitch.
with, Frankie, it's not called Legos.
Oh dear.
What is it called?
When was
Lego.
the last time you watched that Mitchell and Webb sketch?
Lego. Just
He will
Lego.
shoot you. He will
If you want to
shoot you
pluralize
next time.
Lego, you say Lego bricks.
Lego bricks.
You don't say Legos.
Not Legogos, or maybe, or it's more Legos.
I think you'll find that's an elf in Lord of the Rings.
Legolas Gogos? Legogolas? That's Legolas and his dancing as he paid his way through Elf College, yeah.
Incidentally, you can get a Legolas. It's weird.
Yeah, right? Did anybody read the Secret Diaries of the LOTR or whatever, the thing, those were pretty funny. I think
Can I be honest
Legolas
with
wants to
you?
sleep with Mr. Frodo. I'm going to kill him. Sam's diary, like shit like that.
I tried reading Lord of the Rings once,
The books,
and
yeah.
I got to a 6-page dissertation on the Elvish language and just fucking checked out.
Yep. Anyway, so next Sunday, of course, The Flashing Blade, 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern, and onto the Bill Thruster YouTube channel. And then the following Friday, we'll be back for Meglos, but more on that story later. Don't forget, tune into the next Two Found Dinosaurs in a fortnight. You'll get more information about how to win this, possibly. And yes, Dr. Sinister.
We need people who can play Bridge Crew.
Oh, yes. Yes, there's an appeal. We need some people to come and join us playing Bridge Crew. Myself and Dr. Sinister. Well, we didn't, did we? It just didn't. And then it got very strange.
I rather think that rather than just sitting there shooting at things, we're probably supposed to chase it around so it can't shoot at us.
Oh, well,
that's my key thing. It means I've got maximum turning ability if I'm stood still. All right.
Not against a Romulan warbird.
Okay, so hang on a second.
You play like asteroids,
so
right? You just sit in the middle
fault.
of the screen and spin in a circle and shoot everything as it comes at you.
It's my fault, apparently. Right, well done.
Thank God the universe is two-dimensional. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to join us in Star Trek Bridge Crew, get in touch. Leave us a message on the YouTube channel or wherever.
You know, I got beaten because of the Lord of the Rings one time. Like
Beaten?
in school. Beaten,
Okay.
like hauled in front of the class and hit with a paddle. I was in 5th or 6th grade, and the teacher, who was also the football coach, did not believe a kid of that age could comprehend the Lord of the Rings. I turned in a book report on it.
What ages?
And they said my parent, I was like, I don't know, it was 5th or 6th grade, so maybe
It's different over
11.
here.
11.
Yeah.
11, right. Okay.
Yeah, maybe 10 or 11, like that. And so I turned in a book report and I said, no way you read this. You can't. Your parents wrote this for you. And I said, the hell they did. And
It went from
got
there,
hauled up
did
front of
it?
the class and 3 legs with a big ass pine board with holes drilled in it. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Did you
Jesus
manage to
Christ.
prove your point to him?
Yeah, eventually, but his rejoinder to that was, well, it wasn't on the list anyway, when actually it was,
An
but
asshole
we were
teacher.
given the wrong list. It was given a list for like the middle school, which was like 7th, 8th, whatever, or junior high guys was what we were given. And I went ahead and went, I've read most of these. I'll just pick this one, and I did that. It's pretty funny.
Okay, we're going to go away now.
My parents had to send him a note saying, yes, he actually read the book.
Because that's what we do. But before we do, Sinister, what you got up next week?
I'm off doing house stuff. Tomorrow, I should be spending all day watching a funeral.
Right. I will probably be asleep, if I'm honest, for tomorrow. Spanky?
I will not watch the funeral tomorrow.
What are you going to do during the week? You got anything nice coming up?
What's tomorrow? Yes, actually, I'm switching because you guys know the saga of my mom has Alzheimer's, and there are unscrupulous utility people taking advantage of her. I've switched all of their stuff into my name, and I'm going up to have a new phone, new internet, new TV, and stuff all put in this Wednesday, so that I have.
Are you power of attorney?
No, I just put new stuff in my thing. My dad is still good to go. He's handling the power bill on his own. I'm just going to pay the rest of the bills myself.
It's very good of you.
I'm sick of her having her Social Security check gone like the first day or two of the freaking month because some unscrupulous bastard calls up and says, "Oh no, you didn't pay enough on your bill," or some trash like that. And I'm going to get lawyers involved in things. It's going to be a real pain in the ass, but I'm kind of annoyed about it, so I really plan on causing someone a lot of hate and discontent, which I'm good at. So
I'm doing nothing this week.
Good for you.
Oh no, I'm picking up my new glasses, but I can't remember if it's tomorrow or Tuesday.
It won't be tomorrow.
I'll
everything. Everything.
Tomorrow's Monday.
The local cafe is open till 5.
I think it's tomorrow.
Well, someone's got to eat.
Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah. Oh, I'm putting in new stair treads too. We have a deck in the front of the house.
Your life just blows me away.
There are treads missing, like the bottom, the very first step broke, the lowest step, whatever you want to call it. So
you're fixing the house.
I'm getting a couple of pieces of 2x6. I'm going to fix that too.
Right, we're going away. Do you want to say goodbye?
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Brian,
bye to who? Anyone in particular?
Get better.
Oh,
and hopefully, there's no guarantee of this. Shut up! There's no guarantee of this. I've got the right file. Let's see, shall we? Good night.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
Insert your own John Levine quote here.
Oh dear. Yes!
Why don't you literally rename it
Goat.
The Right File?
I got the right file. Hooray.
Just rename it The Right File.
I'll still forget. Oh dear. Oh, hang on a moment. I've just realised something very interesting. We're still streaming.